What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Grudge Gaming, and in this video I'm going to be showing you my 6.1 Feral Druid. I'm going to be showing you my class specs, my rotation, and I'm going to pretty much be telling you guys why I do the things that I do. And so first and foremost, let's get started with the spec talent choices. So what I've picked are Wild Charge for pretty much a gap closer. One thing that Ferals are really good for is sitting and staying on their target. They're pretty much able to train anything. They can get on top of anything because we have Feral Charge, then we also have a dash and a stampeding roar, and we can also shift out of pretty much any kind of a root or a freeze effect that would stop us. Other than a stun and a fear and stuff like that, we can't shift out of that, but everything else we can shift out of, and so that's a super good reason to take Feral Charges, because it's just one more gap closer. Another thing I see people taking is Displacer Beast, but that's more for like a Boomy or a Resto Druid. I wouldn't take Displacer Beast just because of how inconsistent it is as a feral. If you're wanting to get behind a target really quick, Displacer Beast is not going to do the job. Also, Feline Swiftness isn't a terrible talent pick, but it's not as good as Wild Charge. So let's just take Wild Charge. Next, what I'm taking is Ursol's Gift. Now, Ursol's Gift is kind of controversial because a lot of ferals want to take Cenarian Ward, even though Cenarian Ward kind of got nerfed, and so did Renewal. Renewal is still a pretty decent talent choice because it instantly heals the druid for 30% of their maximum health, and it's usable in all shape-shifting forms. So the thought is to just go to bear form and hit Renewal, and it restores 30% of your health. But it's just one of those things that it's on a 2-minute cooldown, and so it's kind of, you know, it's one more thing you have to manage versus Ursol's Gift. It heals you for 4% of your maximum health every 5 seconds. And to top it off, if you are full health, a random nearby injured ally will be healed. So if you're at top health and your arena partner is not, you're going to automatically heal them every 5 seconds for 4% of your maximum health, which is really nice. Now, my 45 talent spec is kind of controversial as well, and the reason I take this is because I typically run Jungle Cleave for my 3s, and so Fairy Swarm is a slow, and it also doesn't let the target get away. So the thing is that if I'm running with a hunter and he has concussive shot and it gets trinketed, or not really trinketed, but if it gets like burst of speed or shifted or something like that, I can just pop Fairy Swarm and it slows them down again and it stops them from stealthing. So this is really good against ferals, Resto Druids who want to try to get the re-stealth, and of course rogues. Mass Entanglement isn't a bad pick because it is a root, but with a Jungle Cleave, it's not exactly, you know, necessary because you're the only one trying to get right on top of them, whereas a hunter doesn't. A hunter can really run around and is very mobile. Typhoon is another good pick. Typhoon is very situational, though, in my opinion. I wouldn't use Typhoon in the Nagrand Arena, per se, but I might use it in the Blade's Edge Arena. So just for the knockoffs on the bridge, or maybe to kick another spell that's being cast. It's really up to you. I just prefer Fairy Swarm because it's a slow. I use it in 2s, I use it in duels, and I absolutely use it in 3s for slows and to get on the target. Now, my 60 talent spec, hands down, Incarnation, King of the Jungle. You have to take this. It is not an option. You will not be a good Feral Druid unless you take this. Just trust me. I promise. If for some reason you don't want to do that and you want to take Soul of the Forest, it's not a bad talent pick, but it's not as good as Incarnation. What that does is it gives you 4 energy per combo point that you spent. So say you have 5 Ferocious Bite, or a 5 combo point Ferocious Bite, you get 20 energy back. That's not that bad, but it's not as good as Incarnation, where you have an improved cat form that allows you to use Prowl while in combat, and it also causes Shred and Rake to function as if they were in stealth. So Incarnation is definitely hands down the pick. Force of Nature did get buffed, but I don't see any druids using Force of Nature like ever at all. So yeah, just don't even worry about Force of Nature. Act like it's not even there. My 75 talent pick, you can kind of pick this for what you want to do. It's very situational for me because Incapacitating Roar, I use it as an interrupt, the same as a lot of people use Mighty Bash. And the reason I don't take Mighty Bash is because of my incarnation causes my rake to become a stun. And so a lot of times the stuns will be on DR, and so Mighty Bash just gets DR'd. And so a Fear is more consistent. It works better with the diminishing returns that I run in my 3s comp and stuff like that. Also, Ursol's Vortex isn't bad, I guess. It would just really be situational. If you were saying grinding against a team that you were having a problem with their healer running around the pillar too much, you can maybe drop this on that pillar and force him to come to teleport back to that spot. Now this is another controversial pick. A lot of people take Nature's Vigil and a lot of people take Dream of Cenarius. I think it really depends on what you're wanting to do. Nature's Vigil is for 30 seconds. All single target healing and damaging spells and abilities also heal a nearby friendly target based on the amount done. 20% for heals and 40% for damaging spells. And then Dream of Cenarius increases the healing from Healing Touch and Rejuvenation by 20%. And your Healing Touch and Rejuve also heal you when you use to heal someone else. So if I'm running 2s and I drop an off heal on a party member, it also heals me in return. And so this is really nice to use in like 2s per se, and that is the last thing that I was running. So I would use this in like 2s, maybe go to Nature's Vigil for 3s, but that's, you know, it's again another situational talent spec. The last talent spec that we're going to be looking at is the Claws of Shrivala. And what this does is it causes you to pretty much take on another Druid spec. And it causes you to, the Renegade Druids have developed the ability to shapeshift into a creature half man and half cat. This alternative cat form allows the use of all non-damaging Druid spells while shapeshifted and increases the versatility by 5. So pretty much what this does is it allows you to cast Rejuvenation while in cat form, and you also get a increase in versatility, which is super nice. Another spec that I've seen people run is Blood Talons, which is casting Healing Touch causes your next 2 melee abilities to deal 30% additional damage. This is really good in the sense of Ferals wanting to snapshot their bleeds, because we are still one of the only classes that have to snapshot their abilities. So this could be really good. The only thing is that this ability can be purged off by Death Knights and Shamans, and so I don't recommend taking Blood Talons if you run PvP, but for a PvE talent build, Blood Talons is definitely the way to go. Lunar Inspiration is absolutely, in my opinion, a bad pick, because when do you see a Feral using Moonfire? Like, ever. So Moonfire is now usable while in cat form and generates 1 combo point and deals damage based on the attack power and costs 30 energy. So I don't see that as being a very good talent pick for anything. I don't really understand the reason why they did this, but, you know, whatever, Blizzard, do your thing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys my rotation and how I do the most burst damage. And I'm going to be showing you on this target. So what I'm going to be doing to track this is going to be Scata. This is an add-on that just tracks damage done. And I'm going to be tracking the DPS. I'm actually going to switch this over to damage for the current fight, because that is what matters. The DPS isn't exactly that big of a deal. So, yeah. DPS would only matter for like burst situations. And you'll see my burst coming up pretty good. And I might actually do a burst showing you how to do the most amount of burst. But burst isn't really that big of a thing for it is a big thing, but it's not a big thing in the sense of what you want to be doing as a Feral. So first and foremost, make sure you have your abilities up, and you want to start off in Prowl. What you're going to do is you're going to open with Rake, and you're going to immediately go to Shred. So I'm going to open with Rake, I'm going to Shred to at least 4 combo points. I'm going to hit my Tiger's Fury, and that's macroed down with the Trinket, and then I'm going to hit my Bleeds. And what that does is that's a 5 combo point bleed with those abilities, and I get an instant heal off of that. So let's just go ahead and back up. So just from auto attacking and letting those bleeds tick, I'm getting 7k ticks every single time. 14k, that's a huge crit. I've already done 308,000 damage to this person just from auto attacks and my Feral bleeds. Now hitting that ability, that Tiger's Fury mixed or macro down with the Trinket, that's a huge thing that I cannot stress enough. That if you're about to apply a really big rip, you want to make sure that you have those buffs applied, because that's going to make your rip hit that much harder. And that's where I get into the snapshotting. Snapshotting is when you apply a bleed that's going to do damage over time, you do that with the maximum buffs that are available. And so in order to do the maximum amount of damage, you want to macro down your Tiger's Fury, which increases your damage done by, I believe it's 40%, swag. Increase physical damage done by 15% for 8 seconds and instantly restores 60 energy. So not only do you max out your energy, but you also get a 15% damage increase. Also, you increase your versatility for 1500 for 20 seconds. So that is a huge, huge versatility increase. So you definitely want to hit that. And the reason that I open with Rake over just a normal Shred, because Shred is optional because being stealth increases your damage by 35% and doubles critical strike chance. So you could open with Shred, but I open with Rake because first off, I want the stun. Also, whenever I open with Rake when I'm stealthed, I get an instant Savage Roar for a maximum duration. So that is a huge, huge ability that you absolutely should take advantage of. So now what I'm going to be showing you guys is my burst damage. So after I've applied, I'm going to start wailing on this guy. So after I've opened with Rake and I've hit him with Shred, and I've got my 5 combo point with Tiger's Fury up, I'm going to build up my combo points again. And I'm going to kind of let Tiger's Fury just take a rest. And I'm really just damaging. And I give it all the way until Tiger's Fury is back up. Tiger's Fury is one of the main Druid abilities that actually doesn't require that much. It has a very fast cooldown. So I like to take full advantage of Tiger's Fury. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build up back to 5 combo points. And what we've been doing this entire time is just been applying basic pressure onto the target. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to activate our one-shot macro, which is literally every single cooldown we have. It is Incarnation, Berserk, and Tiger's Fury. So we're going to do that. We're going to Rake full, and then we're going to Rip. Then we're going to just start wailing on this with just Shreds and Ferocious Bites. We'll get like 92k Ferocious Bites, and we'll do some big dick damage. And this is a huge, huge thing because you're going to just sit here and Ferocious Bite spam, get your full bleeds up, and of course keep those Rakes up. Because Rake, while you're in Incarnation, it causes a stun. And so what you're going to do, you're going to get that Tiger's Fury again, and you're going to apply the bleeds again. You're just going to keep those heavy rips up. And this is how you're going to maximize that damage done. And we'll end this with a Ferocious Bite, just to show you guys a Ferocious Bite with and without the Incarnation. So with Incarnation, I was hitting Ferocious Bites for with Incarnation, I was hitting them for about 90k. Without Ferocious Bite, they'll hit for about 45 to 50k. So that's still really good damage. But if you can apply about 2 or 3 of those big Ferocious Bites, your target's going to die. So just from that initial burst and a little bit of hitting, I did 2.77 million damage, which is ridiculous. It's 28.9k maximum burst. So I think I actually got a little bit higher than that, but it kind of dwindled as the fight kept going. But that is some insane burst damage, and it's really, really, really hard for your opponent to heal himself or have a healer heal him through that. Now, what I'm going to show you next is my actual glyph choice, and glyphs are really situational as well. I run very solo glyphs because a lot of what I do on my stream is simply 2v1s or 1v1s and stuff like that. So this is going to be my glyphs for that, and the reason I picked these I'll explain in a little bit. So the Glyph of Savage Roar, I take the Glyph of Savage Roar because that is what causes my Rake to give me a full 5-point Ferocious Bite or Savage Roar whenever I open with it, and so that is a absolutely you must have talent spec. The next one is Glyph of 9 Lives, and this is just reduces all damage taken while in cat form by 10%. The other thing you can do is the Glyph of Cat Form, which increases your healing done to you by 20% while in cat form, but I would rather just take less damage overall versus having to have a healer heal me for more. Then you have Glyph of Ferocious Bite, and what this does is it heals you for 1.5 of your maximum health for each 10 energy that you used in order to cast it. So this costs 25 energy, and you get, that's a 3, it's like a 3.5 maximum health just from using Ferocious Bite. My minor glyphs don't really matter. Those are just Glyph of the Cheetah and Glyph of the Orca. Those are just, you know, for the lulz type glyphs. But these 3 glyphs are definitely something that I would recommend. If you plan on doing 2s or just want to kind of take it easy on your healer, I would definitely look into these. So yeah, but anyways guys, that is my druid and that is how I do my burst damage. Hopefully you liked this video and hopefully it helped you out. Make sure that you thumbs up and share this video and also hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it guys. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.